Back to channel. So today I'm going to talk about a lesson from grade 9. So this is civic education. So our lesson is democratic governance. It is unit 3. So let's see what are the things that we are going to learn under this lesson. Okay, so here I have categorized the whole lesson into several topics. So let's discuss one by one. First of all, we have to study Introduction to the Democracy. Under that, there will be discussing direct democracy and indirect democracy. Next, I'll be discussing the basic features of a democratic governance and also duties bound by the rights of a citizen in democratic society. Also, the task should be done by the political parties to establish social unity. And also, elections and franchise of a democratic society. Also, I'll be discussing acting as a democratic citizen with assertiveness, contribution to the nation building as a democratic citizen. So these are the things I'm going to talk today. Okay, so be with us. What is democracy? Our first subtopic is democracy. You know this word because we have learned this word from grade 8. So there we have discussed and there we have learned the democracy as a way of living and a way of administration. Now in this lesson, now we are in grade 9 and we will be discussing this concept as a democratic governance, which is related to the way of administration. Okay, so we are going to find and we are going to discuss the term of democracy. What do you know about the term of democracy? So this is not an English word. The democracy word is formed by Greek word demos and kratos. So the whole democracy is made by Greek. So demos mean public, kratos means power. So the meaning of the word democracy is in Greek language is power of people. So here you have to identify there are two terms together the form of democracy has made. So we will find out some definitions done by the scholars for the democracy. Abraham Lincoln says, democracy is a public governance done by the people for the people. So that is a governance, a part of governance, but it is done by the people and also for the people. Next, I have got this from Sealer's quote. Democracy is a governing system which provides rights for everybody. So that means it provides rights for everybody in the society. Finally, I have got another definition from Abdul Kalam. He says, in a democracy, the well-being, individuality, and happiness of every citizen is important for the overall prosperity, peace, and happiness of the nation. So likewise, we can identify the term of democracy, the definitions done by the different scholars. So we can get an idea like the democracy can be defined as a public governance done by the people for the people. So how democracy looks like? Democracy can be introduced as a system of governance done by the people with the decisions of the majority. So there should be a decision of the majority. Types of democracy. So from the beginning I have mentioned that there are two types of democracy. That means democracy can be divided into direct democracy and indirect democracy. So there are some differences between direct democracy and indirect democracy. The direct democracy can be identified as direct involvement of the people in decision making and government. That means people involved together and they are getting their own decision. And also the indirect democracy can be defined as the governing done by the public representatives is called indirect democracy. That means there are some representatives, so they are representing people. People vote for them. Those representatives are making laws for the people. So that is the simple definition and the simple difference between the direct democracy and indirect democracy. Okay, so let's find the basically two features, basically some features of two of them. The main feature of direct democracy is the direct participation of the people in governing. But in indirect democracy, we can see that governing done by the public representative. And also in direct democracy, only elderly male resided in the city were given opportunity to take an active role in the direct democracy governance. Thus mean Puteduwe, in Greek, they had opportunity to vote and they had opportunity to get decisions by taking their correct decisions with the all together, with all they done in they collected or they came for a common place. They came for a common place and they got their decisions together. They got their decisions. And also why they thought that they need this kind of democracy? Because the limited human needs, population, easy to discuss and take decisions and gathering in one place. So those are the importance of or the advantages of direct democracy. But also there had some problems. Immense population, difficulty of gathering in one place, and complexity of human needs, complex nature of present government. Those are the some difficulties faced by the direct democratic societies. So gradually they transferred direct democratic governance to indirect democratic governance. And also let's discuss why is this indirect democracy is important. Indirect democracy can be introduced as the representative democracy. Nowadays in various countries they are doing the indirect democratic governance. So but the constitution provides opportunities to inquire the public preference directly. There are some instances where they use direct democracy. For example, in Sri Lanka, holding referendum is legalized by the constitution. So that means in Sri Lanka, people have some chance to participate for the democracy. That means it is easy to, and it is very important place that in the referendum people can vote as, and the people can get decision in like direct democracy. And also we can discuss some basic features of a democratic governance. Okay, so let's find out one by one. Practice of universal franchise. This is the very important thing in the democratic governance, because in the democratic governance I have told that there are representatives. So for representatives there should be a vote. To get the vote there should be a franchise. It means universal franchise. Holding free and fair election, that is very important to select representative on behalf of the people. So there should be free and fair elections. Competitive party system. Government is taken over by the political party which is elect the majority of the representative, and also divide the country into polling divisions. Independence of judiciary, freedom, equality and rights, existence of free mass media, opportunity to express view freely. Existence of government and opposition, that is very important for a democratic governance. And also election of governments and rules using universal franchise, that is very important one. Taking decisions by majority, that is the basic rule in the democratic governance. And also equal treatment under law and act accordance with the constitution are the basic democratic features. Once we identified these features, we can identify the countries where this governance exist. Okay, so I have discussed so far from the introduction to the democracy. Thank you.